Would it make someone a jerk if they told their parents that their sister never graduated college 20 years ago? Probably, but maybe they've got good reason for it. We'll get into that story in just a bit, but first, am I the jerk for telling my friend I share everything with my wife and I don't believe in bro code? My friend and I have been friends for 25 years. We know each other well. We're both happily married. We never really dive into deep talks or anything like that. He's said things before that really weren't appropriate about women, not cheating or anything, and says, haha, bro code. I've told him forever that I don't believe in bro code. In my opinion, if you can't say something in front of your wife, then you either shouldn't be saying it, you should work on your communication, or you're not as compatible as you thought. Plus, I'm not protecting someone if they do something that goes against my own personal moral code. I mean, if he killed someone, I'd be there with a shovel in a hole and not tell anyone. There's always exceptions. Much later, he wanted to talk to me about something and told me it was in confidence, and I told him again, something he already knew, that anything he tells me, he's telling my wife too. They've also known each other nearly 20 years and get along great. We lived together for almost a decade. Anytime he wanted to talk about something, he'd go to her and he knew that she'd tell me. There's nothing I don't tell my wife. Same for her. We both believe communication and openness are the key to a happy relationship, and we're pretty frickin' happy. We basically never argue or disagree, and both of us know each other down to the core. So this last time, after telling him again that anything he confides in me will also go to my wife, he got upset. He contacted all of our friends and asked them if they'd go running to their wives when someone confided in them, and they're all on his side. I understand that it's not normal, but he's always known this, so it's not like it's a surprise. Am I the jerk for not wanting to keep secrets from my wife and being open about that? This is kind of weird, not gonna lie. Anything you tell me, you're also telling my wife. It's almost like you're deliberately betraying someone's trust in that way. Unless you had good reason to share his secrets, I would say yes, that would definitely make you the jerk here. Fall River 1221 replied, "You're the jerk. There's nothing I don't tell my wife. That's fine when it concerns your business, not fine when it concerns friends' business. Keeping your friends' personal things between the two of you is literally just basic human decency. Your idea of my wife is entitled to anything and everything you have to say is unbelievable. Friends should be allowed to confide in friends without said friend feeling like they have a right to tell their wife all the hot gossip. It's one thing when it comes to making inappropriate comments, but when a friend says, hey, I need to talk and I want to keep it between us, then you honor that. Not tell them, I keep nothing from my wife, so you have to tell her all your personal business or don't tell me. What if the thing he wanted to talk about privately was serious? You just brushed him off and said, my wife has to be involved or shut up. Imagine he wanted to reach out for help because he's battling suicidal thoughts, and you just said, well, my wife is entitled to your business too, so if you tell me, you have to tell her. Then you lose him because you felt the need to be a gossip queen with no respect for other people's privacy and showed you're not someone that can be trusted for support. Your wife should be involved in things about you directly. She should not be involved with anything related to your friends' lives without permission. It's not keeping secrets. Your wife is not entitled to every detail of your friends' lives. They, however, are entitled to not having their business shared with your wife. Glad your marriage is good because you're on track for people not wanting to be friends with you. Also, hey everybody, my name is Brendan, and if you guys enjoy these Am I the Jerk videos, it'd be nice if you liked the video or commented down below if you're listening to our podcast. Now then, our next story is, am I the jerk for not letting my sister leave my toddler's room? So bear with me here, because there's a lot of info and figuring out what's relevant is beyond me sometimes. I, 33-year-old female, and my husband, 35-year-old male, just bought a house. We worked our butts off over the past 3-ish years after a surprise pregnancy. We're financially okay, but you all know the housing market. So since my youngest was born, we've had to have the baby in our room because we only had a 2-bedroom and our oldest, now 12, needed his own space. We made it work, but we also did everything we could to get into a 3-bedroom as fast as possible. Cut to now, we have our 3-bedroom. We made a huge deal out of it to our youngest. To the point, Big Brother helped design and decorate with us. It was an entire family effort. On to the drama, cause I wouldn't be here if there wasn't, right? My little sister, Mona, 27-year-old female, just got out of a horribly abusive relationship and has been on my couch for 2 weeks. That's not a problem for us. I just warned her that I 100% would not make either of my boys give up their brand new rooms. Like, for real, how much overtime and sacrifices we had to make to give them their own spaces. Well, guess what happened? Mona sat my husband and I down and asked if she could stay in our youngest's room because he just runs for our room in the middle of the night anyway. I told her no, that was his room, and I reminded her of my one condition. She argued that he's a toddler. He doesn't need his own space. I snapped on her and told her it didn't matter if he needed his own space. I need my own space. I asked her how she feel always sharing her space with tiny eyes, and it's my house. This straight devolved into a yelling match where I told her if she didn't like it, she could leave. She's now not talking to me, and I feel absolutely awful for her, but I worked hard to give my youngest that space. My husband thinks I took it a little too far, and that I need to apologize because she's going through a hard time. Am I the jerk? Not the jerk, as I always say, your house, your rules. Soft Remote 1511 replied, not the jerk, but I do have to ask if you have a game plan on getting her out, because if she's already trying to undermine your condition for staying to secure a room, she will never leave. While it's great that you opened your home to let her stay and get out of a bad situation, but she'll drain you more than your 2 kids already do. Coming from someone that let their friends stay, agreed on 6 months to get on their feet, turned into 4 years, and I lost my privacy and mind in my own home. Our next story is, am I the jerk for hiding food from my roommate? I, 19-year-old female, lived with another girl in college. She consistently would eat my food, and when I caught her, she said she would replace it, but never did. I finally got a mini fridge for my room and started labeling what I left in the kitchen. She was calling me petty and told our friends I made the apartment hostile. I really don't know how it was my fault. I just don't think I should be feeding the both of us. Am I the jerk for locking up my food? No, of course not. I mean, I could have answered that before OP gave her spiel here, but no, you're not the jerk. The only jerk here, of course, is your roommate. Nick Knockers replied, most people are hostile with thieves. Plus, I'd be telling your friends that she's a thief. Ask them how they would deal with it, or if they would bring free groceries around to feed both of them to make the place less hostile. Not the jerk. Our next story is, am I the jerk for telling my dad it's his own fault he doesn't have an active role in his grandkids' lives? So, my dad is unfortunately still having kids at the big age of 63. He already has 2 adult children, my brother, 30-year-old male, and myself, 27-year-old female. Both of us have kids of our own. He randomly texted my brother and I in a group chat several nights ago to say that he feels left out of his grandchildren's lives. Both my brother and I have very active in-laws who are retired. We're very grateful to have Village that lives close by. Our mom is also an active grandma as well. Recently, my in-laws, my brother's in-laws, our mom and the kids went on a vacation. Of course, I posted pics on social media. I do that for all my trips. Well, I'm pretty sure this is what my dad was referring to when he claims he feels left out. My brother is a non-confrontational kind of guy and didn't reply. We had our own side conversation. I individually texted my dad and said, I'm sorry you feel that way, but that's really not our fault. I reminded him that he has 2 kids under the age of 2. He lives over an hour away from all of us, and instead of being a grandpa at this stage of his life, he made the decision to start completely over. He told me that we're intentionally leaving him out because we don't like his wife. We don't really care for his wife, I won't lie. Regardless of not liking his wife, it's not our jobs to make sure he has a relationship with his grandkids. He also started rambling about how we don't make an effort with our half-siblings and how he wants all of his kids to be tight-knit. I told him that if he wanted us to have that type of relationship, he should have had us kids within a reasonable time frame. That he can't expect siblings that are married with families of their own to be close with a toddler and a baby that don't live close by. I just wanted to get some outside opinions. My friends and family said I did nothing wrong, but I do kind of feel bad because my dad never responded after my last message. I'm positive I hurt his feelings. What do y'all think? Am I the jerk in this situation? No, you're not, and don't fall for his manipulation and gaslighting. In Weasley, 21 commented, not the jerk. This man wants to snap his fingers and have everyone in his family close to him without putting in any effort or facing any consequences for his actions. How close did he imagine you and your brother would be to your half-siblings if they're 30 years younger than you? And OP replied to this, my exact thoughts. Both of us have been out of the house since we turned 18. Our next story is, Am I the jerk for setting an outdoor workout on my smartwatch while I walked to the hospital to visit my sick dad? I was told my dad was very sick and in the hospital. The hospital he was at was about 1.5 miles from my house, and I don't have a car, so when I found out, I walked there. Anytime I walk anywhere, I log it as a workout on my watch. Usually it's to the store or a convenience store, but I always log it. But I knew I was going to walk, so I took the few seconds to set a workout on my watch. I share my workouts with my brother. He shares them with me. I guess we're smartwatch friends? When I got there, he saw the notification I completed a workout. He asked about it, and I told him it was the walk here to the hospital. He got mad, asking how I could think about setting a workout on my watch when Dad was very sick. I told him it was just what I do when I go walk anywhere. It's a reflex to set it when I go anywhere on foot. So am I the jerk for starting an outdoor workout on my smartwatch before I walked in to see my dad at the hospital? No, you're not. I mean, this is just someone picking a fight over something, in my opinion, very minuscule. No harm, no foul. There's no harm in this. Therefore, no foul. DG Showgirl commented, "Not the jerk, you didn't do anything wrong. From having a lot of involvement in hospitals in the past, I've seen similar things. People are stricken by grief and overwhelmed by emotions. Here, your dad is sick. Prognosis may not be clear or it may not be positive, so your brother is feeling some complex reactions. He can't blame Dad for being sick. He can't control the circumstances, so he lashed out at the next available opportunity. I'm sorry your brother took it out on you. I hope you can overlook this moment and be there for your dad together." And OP replied to this, "I think that might be the case, but also I could have just not set the workout before I left. It's just habit though, and I think him seeing the notification triggered him in some way." Our next story is, am I the jerk for the way I ate at a buffet? I, 18-year-old male, recently got into law school and am now an LLB, Bachelor of Laws student. My parents decided to take me to a special lunch at a buffet as a reward. My aunts, uncle, and cousins were also there. My uncle gave me a labor law textbook as a gift. Now, I usually don't eat a lot for lunch. I actually used to skip the meal or have just a banana to save money to buy books. But this was a buffet and they had some really nice dishes. I sampled many things and ended up wolfing down 40 pieces of sashimi. I know because I went to the counter 5 times and got 8 pieces each time. My dad didn't say anything, but my mom later told me I embarrassed her by eating like a starving kid. That the amount I ate made it look like she didn't feed me enough. She was very upset about it. No, not the jerk. Man, what is up with these posts about people getting so upset and offended over nothing? Not the jerk. Dark Lady Niara commented, "Not the jerk, it was a buffet. I doubt anyone except your mom noticed or cared that you were eating a lot. And if they did care, well, that's kind of weird of them." Congrats on getting into law school. Our next story is, am I the jerk for buying my niece 2 pairs of glasses and letting her get contacts? I have a 12-year-old niece, Haley. Haley lives with her dad, stepmom, and 4 younger step-siblings, 2 boys and 2 girls. Don't know the exact ages, but they seem to be between 5 and 10. Her mom passed when she was 3. Haley's dad and stepmom are not well off. They live in a 3-bedroom house, so Haley shares a room with her stepsisters. The kids get 1 pair of shoes, reuse school supplies until they're falling apart, and if their clothes still fit, they don't get new school clothes. I'm doing a lot better, but I refuse to help him with money because if I give him money with the direct instructions to get Haley some decent shoes or a nice jacket, I expect the money to be used on Haley, not split between all 5 kids. He also dislikes me because he blames me for CPS investigating him and his wife for leaving the kids home alone every day. Haley stays with me after school and sleeps over a few nights a week because I won't drop her off if there's not an adult present, and I told her not to get on the bus under any circumstances, so they can't tell her I wanted her to take the bus home that day. Haley and 2 of her step-siblings needed glasses. Nobody was able to take Haley for her eye exam and to get the glasses, so they asked me to take her and gave me $100 with the instructions to get the cheapest pair we can find. I was driving Haley to the eye doctor, and she told me she really wanted contacts, but her dad said no. I talked to the receptionist and they were able to get her in for a contact fitting that day. After her contact appointment, we checked out the glasses and she found 2 pairs that she really liked and I told her to get both. I took her back after school a few days later and picked up a few boxes of contacts. Her new glasses came in a few days ago, and she loves them, but her dad is furious about the glasses. Then he found out about the contacts. I guess Haley was keeping them in her backpack and never told him about it. So he told her she gets to keep one pair of glasses and everything else has to stay at my house because he's sick of me and Haley rubbing her stuff in her step-siblings' faces. Haley responded by packing most of her stuff and walking to my house. Now she's refusing to go home. CPS came for another investigation and was told by the kids that Haley doesn't live there anymore, which is not helping my brother-in-law's case. Now my brother-in-law wants me to make Haley come back and stop spoiling her so she won't rub it in her siblings' faces anymore. Her rubbing it in their faces means she put both pairs of glasses on her dresser, but it wasn't fair because the other kids could see it. Am I the jerk for getting her contacts and 2 pairs of glasses? Chocolate Chip Wizard replied, "You realize that your brother-in-law and his wife are collecting a Social Security survivor benefit check for caring for your niece, right? If she's staying with you, he should not be claiming that check." Our next story is, am I the jerk for refusing to financially support my daughter's gap year to pursue acting when we paid for our other kids' college expenses? I, 48-year-old female, and my husband, 49-year-old male, have 3 kids, 23-year-old female, 20-year-old male, and 18-year-old female. From the beginning, my husband and I have agreed that we would financially support our kids through college for tuition, rent, groceries, etc. Our oldest completed her undergrad, and we covered all the expenses. She's now in medical school, and we're still paying her education and living costs. Our middle child is still in undergrad, and we're paying for that and plan to cover his grad school too. Our youngest has never been as into studies as my older 2, and I've always done my best to support her creative hobbies like art and theater. She's supposed to enter college end of September, but she's now saying she would rather defer for a year to pursue theater and acting instead. She had a long conversation with us when she broke the news and made a PowerPoint explaining everything she planned to do. She said she plans to move to LA for the year and promised that if things did not work out after the year, then she would go to college. The thing is, she expects us to finance everything like we did with her siblings. I said she could go, but we would not pay for it because we agreed to support our kids through college, which she is choosing not to attend. I suggested instead that she should go to college and pursue acting on the side. She said that she needs to give it her full attention for at least a year. She insists that I'm being unfair and showing favoritism toward her siblings because they're going the more traditional way, and that she has a plan and just needs time. My oldest called and said that we've supported her through her passions and that we should do the same for our youngest, even if her path is different. My husband is now leaning towards letting her go, saying, "What's the harm in a year?" But I feel strongly about this. LA is expensive, and I don't want to waste the money on a path that has no guaranteed return. I don't want to pay tens of thousands for something she could do on the side or later on. The rest of my family, besides my husband, who's trying to remain neutral, thinks I'm the jerk for not supporting her. So, am I the jerk for not paying for my daughter's gap year? Edit. Some extra information. My daughter is currently enrolled as a business management and economics major. We already have things paid for, and they will not let her defer since it's too late, plus no valid reason. So she will lose her spot and will have to reapply. Her school does offer a theater arts minor, and I said she could look into that. But since the school's not known for theater, she said the gap year would be more beneficial to her. Also, it's too late for her to apply for any theater/acting schools, so if she goes down that route, she could only join next school year. Her mentioning this so late makes me think she's not serious or considerate about the money we already put in for her school. She has experience in theater. We've sent her to a summer theater program when she was in elementary school, and then to a more structured theater class during high school. She's been in the school play throughout high school. Also, her theater class had a thing where the students acted in commercials for local businesses. The commercials were only put on social media. I definitely think she has talent, but there are thousands of other girls just like her fighting for a chance, and I don't think, at this point, she has enough to stand out. As for her plan, she has a few thousand TikTok followers, and she plans to focus on growing that to gain connections and exposure. She showed us some local acting groups and studios that offer internships that she plans to apply for. If that doesn't work out, she mentioned joining classes or even volunteering to gain exposure. She said that with all the free time, she would audition for anything and everything. I feel like there's no solid plan. She just plans to throw darts and see what sticks. I'm kind of in the middle on this one. I think both sides make good points. Mom, obviously, rightfully kind of questioning daughter's choices, but daughter has at least made it a point to lay out a plan and, really go for it for a year. I don't think there's anything wrong with pursuing your dreams, particularly when you're young and she really wants to go after it, and she's only committing to a year. So I'm gonna say nobody's a jerk in this situation. Annoyed Space Dust replied, not the jerk. There are college degrees for acting, theater, and art she could attend. Also to point out, LA has a high cost of living. So if you were to support the gap year, it doesn't work, then they get 4 years of paid expenses for college on top of that? Seems unfair to the other kids. Our next story is, am I the jerk for calling my friend out for constantly wasting my time and then deciding to stop engaging when she brushed it off? My friend has a habit of being late, and I'm not talking like 15 to 20 minutes late. She's at minimum 45 minutes late. I wanted to meet her for a coffee before I was flying to London, and she asked me to meet her at a salon at 2:30. While leaving my house, which is close to the salon, I checked with her if she got parking and she said it'll be 3 o'clock. Then at 3 o'clock she said it'll be 4. I called her out for disrespecting my time and told her that I was flying the next day and had a million things to do, and it wasn't fair to keep me waiting without a heads up. She should have told me when she knew she was going to be late and not waited for me to ask. She said, quote, I've got a schedule that keeps me on my toes. And I told her we all do. We all have jobs, lives, responsibilities, and families, and to do this is disrespectful. She told me I come off too strong and asked to stop talking for a while. At this point, I lost my temper and said that she always avoided accountability and made it about energy or coming off too strong, instead of owning up to the fact that she should have been more respectful of my time. This isn't the first time. She's done this multiple times, and I've gently told her, but she's never registered. She stopped speaking to me and unfollowed me on Instagram. Am I the jerk? Edit. Whenever we'd make a plan to meet somewhere, she'd say, please be on time, and turn up late herself. Also, she's constantly talking about my energy, or my prana, and how I need to center myself or I come off too strong. Of course, OP's not the jerk in this situation. Look, I truly believe that punctuality or lack thereof is something that you're born with. And people that are habitually late, they're always, as long as they live, are going to be late. Someone, please, in the comments, tell me a story of someone that was habitually late and then all of a sudden turned over a new leaf and now they're just punctual to everything. It doesn't happen. If they're late people, they will always be late. Simple as that. Economy Recent 3772 replied, not the jerk. Adult person should be held accountable of their own actions. Her behavior is disrespectful and just plain rude. If she has a crazy schedule, she needs to learn time management and how to prioritize, as the world does not revolve around her. Where I live, being even 10 minutes late is unacceptable. And OP replied to this, right, and anytime she has to meet me somewhere, she always says, please be on time, but she's late all the time. I kind of felt like she was saying my time is more important than yours, and she's always talking about how my energy is too aggressive or I come off too strong. Our next story is, am I the jerk for telling my parents I will not be helping them with their rent? I, 18-year-old female, moved out of my parents' house a little while ago as soon as I could. To provide some context, my parents were both emotionally abusive and have wronged me many times in my life, including threatening to get rid of my dog, which I have a whole post on. Since I moved out, I've been working a job and paying rent for an apartment I share with a friend, and have had enough money left to save up a bit to go to college in a few years. I'm the youngest in the family, so after I moved out, no one was left at home. Both my siblings moved out as well, so their financial support from my brother paying them rent for his bedroom has been cut off. I'm completely independent and have told my parents multiple times that I want nothing to do with them, and even blocked their numbers completely. Earlier this week, my grandmother called me and explained that my parents desperately need money for rent and asked if I could spare money from my college savings, which I saved up on my own so far to help them. I outright refused and told my grandmother I would not be helping at all since every penny in my savings is gathered by me working hard and supporting myself. I love my grandmother and told her that if she needed help herself, I was willing to help, but would not help with my parents. For this entire week, my aunt has been calling me repeatedly, saying my parents really needed this and deserved it for raising me. My mom's side of the family threatened to cut me off if I didn't help, which is honestly so petty because I'm only 18 years old. They should be helping instead. I told my friend about it and she said that I was taking it too far and I should have helped. Now I'm wondering if I am the jerk. No, you're not. Again, OP, as you mentioned, you're 18 years old. Your parents should not be asking you for help and pressuring you for help, especially if they've been emotionally abusive and manipulative towards you over the years. You don't owe them anything. You're an adult now, make your own decisions, not the jerk. Casual Laura replied, "Not the jerk. You're doing fantastic. Moved out, saving money for college, on your own, cutting off your abusive family. Keep it up. Don't let anyone drag you back into that situation with their petty manipulations. You got this." Our next story is, am I the jerk if I tell my parents that my sister never graduated college 20 years ago? Would I be the jerk? Let me start out this post as I'm a 40-year-old that has returned to college to finish my degree. My sister, 47, lied to our parents over 20 years ago that she graduated college. The reason why I know it was a lie is she came to me when I was a senior in high school and told me that she had dropped out of college the year prior. She was upset, she didn't know what to do, and I told her everything would be okay and that I wouldn't tell mom and dad. My parents pressed for a while to see her grades and to see her diploma, but she always was able to make up excuses or avoid answering questions. Eventually, they just quit asking. They were so excited she had graduated and would tell everyone. Through the years, she's had other issues and lied to my parents about those, and me being the only one that knew the actual truth about them. For many years, it didn't bother me that she lied to my parents about it, especially since the last 2 years she was supposedly on scholarship. I also know that my parents were pushing her into a degree she did not want, but I guess 20 plus years of living in my sister's shadow and always being told how great her degree is and how great she is, it's finally just getting to me. My parents have made me feel like what I've accomplished in life is never good enough. Even now, returning to college, they make comments that my degree isn't going to be as valuable as hers, even though she's never worked in her degree field. I've been contemplating for a while just letting the truth come out, but I think I would actually feel worse. I guess I'm not just looking to see what other people's opinion are on the situation, if I would be the jerk if I just told my parents the whole truth. Yeah, I'm gonna say if you out your sister, it's been 20 years. Definitely would be the jerk. I understand it comes from jealousy, but don't sink to that level. Final Replacement 37 replied, "You would be the jerk. Your beef is with your parents, not your sister. You're also 40 years old. You need to work through your relationship with your parents independent of whatever they feel towards your sister. Letting them know about your sister's degree isn't going to materially change anything. They aren't suddenly going to respect you more. They're just going to respect her less. And you're not in competition with your sister. At 40 years old, I think it's time to move past using your parents' feelings about your accomplishments as a barometer for success. If they will never be satisfied, then they will just never be satisfied. Ultimately, the only person that needs to be happy with the direction of your life is you." Alright everybody, that is all the time we got for today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and comment down below. And if you want to check out any of our other videos, click the video on the right. I got nothing else for you. I will see you all next time.